So here's the stencil, and here's the ghost, and I don't have a ghost up on top, so I'm just gonna kind of like fit it in. I'll nest it in with the top one as I see it. So I'll just nest it up. I created this, so I know how they're supposed to nest. These 3 nest into these 4. So that's how it should be. So let me grab my channel locks. And because this first one, you know, you don't have, since I don't have ghosts on top, it doesn't matter because I kind of messed them up anyways. I'm just going to say this is good. So I'll take this corner and I'll put my horizontal channel lock on so that the front of this foot is hitting the top of that stencil. And this is a perfect rectangle. And then I'll just kind of hold my finger there and bring this down, and you can see it's not right, so I'll try and pivot it. I'll grab this, my other hand, and pivot it. Oh, so then that makes more sense, so it fits better now over here. Okay, so let's see. I should put a hole right here so that I could put a pin in there and pivot it with a pin. Okay, so use one of these short pins. So I'll just kind of slant it in there. And then I can pivot it easier. That's better. Bring this around. Okay, so one last check. Okay, so that looks good. But my clamp's not on. Okay. Let me clamp the other side. Yeah, I have to wrap it around and then Velcro it. Like wrap it around here, wrap it around this, and then Velcro down there. So this one is going to be the hardest. So then I'll put this out of the way. And then hit the pounce, and then it's good with this pin in here. So the rougher part of the stencil is on the bottom so that it doesn't slide as much. Whoops, I just slid it. Famous last words. I'll hold it while I take this clamp off. And there it is. So then, I know it's hard to see this part here. This is the ghost, this feather, and this one, and that one. That's these three. So I'll just line those up. And this is what I do when I create my embroidery in the hoop nested blocks. I have ghosts, just like you have ghosts with the long arm when you do pantos. You just line it up so you don't have to worry about it being exact. So that's lined up. And I can check up here. If this is lined up, I'm probably fine. My channel locks are still on, so I can check it up here. So while I hold my hand down here, I could actually put a pin in to pivot. You know, I don't really want to pivot that, but I do want to hold it. And then I can pivot that up so that this meets the edge. I'm basically winging this. I'm winging this as I go. So let me move this away because I know this is straight. Down there it doesn't even matter because it's lined up with the ghost. That's good enough. But it is straight. You can see it is. But I want to get this out of the way, and then I'll put my pin in. That's so much easier. Now I have a pin in both places. This one is just in the stencil, you know. That's perfect. I'm not crazy about breathing in this powder, so I don't have to do the ghost. So I'll just do this. Now I can do it easier with the pins in. I don't know if I got this over here. Let me hold it while I take these out. Now I have a pin cushion here. And there's that one. So, I mean, for an amateur, it's not bad. So I'm going to move that down, line up my ghost again on the left here. I'll pin this side first. Okay. And then I'll bring this. So I put a pin right there. And I'll bring this over a little bit just to check my corner. And then I'll move it away and place the pin. That is so much better. Oh my gosh, this chalk gets everywhere. I don't know. There's got to be an easier way to pounce it. Maybe pounce it in something with your hand, or go somewhere to do that. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that powder everywhere. So I'll just stick the pins here, or here, because I'm going to need them over here. There's another one. Again, we'll line this up, move this down. Bring this over, pivot that down, move it away. Yeah, how am I gonna hit this? Inside of a bag or something? Or on my stairs over here, my carpeted stairs? Yeah, that'll work. Because I don't like doing it. Okay, so I don't have to do the ghost. I'll just go horizontal. I'm new to this, so I have to come up with a system. Put the pins over there. And there you go. So far, I got all that. Line that up. Move this away. Oops. I guess you didn't see me lining it up. Sorry. Move this over. Pivot this up. Move it away. I'll get better at it. So I don't have to do that. You gotta be able to see the white in there. There's another one. So move it down. Move this out of the way. Bring this back. Pivot this up. Move it back and place my pin. Okay. I wonder if I should just go in one direction. I don't know. I've seen them kind of go like, you know, like this. I think I smeared it. And there's that. Line up the ghost. Place a pin. Bring this over. Pivot it up. Move it back. This should be so much easier, this row. That's nice because I could keep my hand here on the ghost, you know, and I don't have to do the ghost. I don't know how I feel about this. It does seem like you have to rub it. I don't know. You know, this isn't fabric like what they sell at Full Line Stencil. You know, it is a little more difficult, I think, because it's, well, I don't know, because I haven't bought her stencils yet. And then we just got one more. I can't wait to do this on a real quilt. This fabric is like wallpaper. Okay, so this is, I came out a little too much on this top one, but that's okay. Hey, if I could do that first one, all those things I had to do. Okay, so I'm going to take this clamp off. I can't use that thumb. Some messed up thumb. Okay, this doesn't really matter, but yeah, it kind of does. We want it to be right. Okay. I mean, it's fine, so, but that looks good. Whoop. I mean, I could pin it, duh. I have all these holes. Okay. And there you go. So this one I came out too far. So I'll just make this a little smaller, and same here. But that's easy after what I did before. Jeez. I could do anything now. Okay. So there it is. If I can. So all that. I don't have a lot of battery left, so we're going to try to do this fast. So let's see, which side am I starting first? I'm going to the bottom. Okay, here's this row done. So you can kind of see the two rows together. Not bad. So I pinned where the batting ends because my backing is not attached because I had to add it. So I pinned that, and I'm gonna take the magnets off now and roll it for the last row. But yeah, one more row. This was easy, really easy. So I ended up putting another hole in the corner right here, this other corner. So these two right corners have a hole and a pin, and then there's one pin there. So this is the first pin that I put in when I match up these ghosts, and then I bring the machine over with its channel lock. It doesn't have a pin in it, and I make sure it's flush. The front of the foot is flush with the stencil, and if it's not, you know, I just pivot it because I have this pin here to pivot, but it's usually almost right on because I matched it up with the ghost over there on the left. So then once I pivot it, I just move that back, put that pin in, and then put this pin in. So I'm getting my system down, and it seems to be working really well. So, and you know, since this is a stiffer stencil, then it's easier to pounce it. So I did this one already. This one, it's done. So I'll take these off while I hold the stencil. Place them to the right, lift up, and then move it over and line it up. But move this out of the way. Machine head. Okay, place the pin there in the center. Bring the machine back. And I'm right on, so I didn't even have to pivot it. So I'll move it back so I could place my pin down in there. And then place this one. And it just makes it so much easier now. So again, I'll hold my hand here, and still not sure the best way to do this. Maybe an outward, I don't know. So I'm gonna just hold it as I go down because it doesn't bother anything. I think I might have got some. I think I smeared it a little bit. I think I'm being too rough, to be honest. So I'll hold this pin Oh, my tea is ready. Let's see what I did. Yeah, I smeared it a little bit over there, but that's okay. And then I just have this last little bit. So I'll just do this last bit. So I just made it as far as my batting that was left. I just made it. So that was good. I still don't know how wide this is. I don't know. Guess it could be a whole cloth quilt. Okay. So we are ready to do our last row. So this stencil will be available on my website, wequiltstudio.com, and it'll just be available in the digital format. So you see this pink stencil here. This is what it will look like. Well, it won't be pink, of course. Your stencil material will be see-through, and you'll have the two designs and the ghost on the left side, and then you'll also have ghosts on the top and the bottom. And actually this file is tweaked a little bit more than the one on the video. It nests a little better, and it's really tweaked quite well. So that will be available as a digital file, and then I'm also offering it as an embroidery file for people who like to quilt in the hoop. And as you notice, there's no long run. This design is actually rotated, so you don't have to match up point to point with this design. They're just blocks that nest nicely, and they come with this ghost template, and you'll have your regular design template without the ghost if you want that. But really you'll only need to print the ghost. You can either stitch this ghost on clear, very thin poly mesh stabilizer if you want, or you can cut it with your Cricut Maker or a Brothers Scan and Cut, because I'm offering it as an SVG and an SVGZ file, because sometimes the Cricut Maker will only take an SVGZ. So you can, cut it. Basically it's like a print and cut, so it'll print it and then cut out the rectangle around it, and so that would be your placement template. And this is how this one would look. You can see they just all nest really nice, and there's no long runs that you have to connect end to end, whereas this one, you can see your run here. This is for the long arm, and you can get it as a stencil. So those are the two ways it'll be offered. I have it on there right now as a embroidery file. It's under Quilt in the Hoop on my website. Now, one thing you'll notice is with the stencil design here for the long arm, you'll notice that every other block is flipped. So this swirl is going this way, and then the next one is going the opposite way. That's on the long arm, and you can see in the big area sew out, you can see how they're flipped and how they nest going horizontally. But if you look at that same design vertically, you see they're all going in the same direction. Those swirls, they're all going like this. So on the embroidery file, this is the design that you'll see, but it'll be rotated to the left. And I'll show you. So here's the same design, it's just rotated to the left. So here it is, and so now the horizontal is showing the swirls all going in the same direction. These swirls are all swirling to the left. But if you look at this one vertically, you'll see that they're different. This one is swirling to the right, and this one is swirling to the left. So that's why if you embroider this, you could choose which way you want to flip this, depending on if you have a bigger hoop. If you have like a 9.5 inch hoop, you can choose either way. If you only have an 8-inch hoop, 8 by 9 is what I have, 8 by 9.5, I would have to choose this way, because in this manner it's under 8 inches, it's like 7.5. But going the other way, well, let me see, I think going the other way, let me check. So this design is 7.94 going in this direction here. So it's really just making it on for an 8-inch hoop. So, you have your choice. You really do technically have your choice, but you'd probably, if you have a Janome like I do, a Janome MB4, my hoop is 9.5 inches horizontally, and so I would choose the 7.94 direction as you see it here. So horizontally this is 7.94, and then vertically it's, I believe, 7.48. So it fits in an 8-inch hoop a little bit better. And if you need a smaller size, you can always write me. I just never know how many different sizes that I need to put out there. So just let me know, and if you buy the file, I'll just send you whatever file size you need. And so the website then is wequiltstudio.com, and here is the design. And when you add to cart, you see a check mark, but you still have to click on the cart, and then that takes you to your PayPal. It's kind of a strange way of buying. I don't have a cart in the upper right. So you click on add to cart, and then you click the cart, and that'll take you to PayPal. But so this would be in the quilt in the hoop link. So here's the home page here, and you would just go to quilt in the hoop. And I will be adding another tab, probably just, maybe I will call it stencils, because I'm just going to start making stencil files, maybe. I might only have just this one, but we'll see. And I did want to go ahead and zoom in on this file just so that you could see how beautiful the stitches are. Sometimes when you're far away, the stitches don't look like they're straight or what have you, but rest assured, as I zoom in, you can see that they're just perfect. And I zoom out a little. So you can see just how beautiful these stitches are. They're just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. Oops, I think I might have moved the file. There you go. So that kind of gives you an idea of just how beautiful it is.